and they cannot come in his space, and he's not that verbal. He has a large vocabulary, but he doesn't put it in. He doesn't communicate in a way that he's using sentences. You know what I'm saying? He knows he can. You know what I'm trying to say? Oh, I tell you, I'm losing my voice, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
So they're going to have a challenge. That's a challenge that's going to be continued, and you have to fight.
Yeah, I believe he's
You
advocate
have
for that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
you have to fight, and you're going to have to continue to fight
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to continue to fight for them to find the proper level. Um, and you got to work with the teachers, and you have to make sure you're a part of every single decision that is made with him. So it's a challenge. It really is a challenge. Okay, so that difficulty in concentrating can be something that is minor, or can be something that is very, very challenging. Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I'm listening to you. That's what
Okay,
you're
I just want to make sure you're hearing me because I'm
doing.
hearing a little bit of an echo. Um, Sleeping and eating is another
Yes.
issue. Sleeping and eating.
Yeah.
Um, some children have difficulty sleeping. Again, children with autism, because their brain is wired differently, might have a lot of issues. But we want to make sure that he is eating the best you can. You are avoiding red dyes and blue dyes and all those kind of dyes and artificial food.
Yeah. That's our biggest challenge is the eating. He refused to eat anything. Basically, uh, there's only a few things that he would eat, and if it's not like, let's take pizza. If that if the pizza doesn't look right, he's not eating it. And it's only certain restaurants I can go that he get it. I thought I was smarter than him. I go and take a frozen pizza and put it in the pizza box that of the place he likes. He took one look at it like, no, lady, we're not having this. It's just simple things. So even when I go to a restaurant, I have to explain to them how to fix something a certain way and don't deviate from what I told you, because he's not going to eat it. You know, it's horrible. It's hard to get him to eat anything, because I love natural, healthy things for him, and he refused. Excuse me. Excuse me. Green. And he refused to eat it. So eating a meal, oh my God, that's the hardest thing. It is so frustrating for me. I don't know what you did with the remote. It's free. You go find it. I'll apologize. Yeah. Yes, eating is an issue. Sleeping is an issue.
Uh-huh.
Uh, they try to get him to take medication for him sleeping. They gave him a low dose blood pressure pill. I can't remember the name, but Georgie doesn't take medication of any kind. He have a high sensitivity to detecting medicine in anything.
So
I
you
try
can't
to
hide
hide.
it.
Try to hide it. Lord, goodness, I put it in his lemon favorite pudding. Oh, he put that pudding on punishment for several months. Wouldn't go back to it. I keep on trying to give it to him because I wasn't smart enough to, I don't know, hide it better than I did.
His taste is highly acute,
Yes, yes,
that he could taste any difference in the food.
yes. Even if I put it in a drink, um, he detects it. I mean, I could put it in his favorite juice. He could tell. He has a cold. I don't know where green is. Go find green. Find the green remote control. Go ahead. So look over there somewhere. Go over there. I'm being a grandma, but he easily a cough medicine. I can't give it to him. Any medication is like it's frustrating to put it in him. The least little thing, he knows it. And it's crazy.
Doesn't like it, no matter what it tastes like.
No matter what it tastes like, he refused. And on top of that, he's strong. That boy is extremely strong. He can take one, he can hold down one arm and fight me with the other one. And I'm all twisted up trying to put medicine in him. I'm like, how? He's a baby. The boy is strong. So I mean, one time he was so sick, just I had to go to the doctor 3 days in a row just for them to give him the antibiotic instead of giving it to him by mouth. They had to shoot him and give him a shot. And it took three of them to hold him down. I'm teaching his dad was like that too. Yes. I don't know where Green at. Don't find Green, please, George. Go look over there. And yeah, his dad was like that too, but he's extremely strong and he detected at least little medication. It's hard, seriously.
Really?
In the sleep pattern, the boy will stay up all night. They say give him what's that, melatonin? He don't eat candy. So the sugar on the candy, he refused. Okay, so mommy, let's be smart. So I rinsed the sugar off. That still didn't work. So it's like, I'm telling you, this is too much. I'm too old for this. This is not a job for
That's that's why we're here, because we want you to know. First of all, we think you're awesome. We think you're awesome. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes a lot of the children that we have, and this is our next thing, have gone through some type of trauma, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore their behavior is not normal. Their behavior is beyond normal.
Right.
And you have to be prepared for it as not only as a person, but as an older person. Where you think that you have done all the things that you need to do, and then you find yourself in the middle of these behaviors that are foreign to you. And I have found, uh, not only with my granddaughter and going through her anxiety and depression that she had, which was a challenge to me because I'm feeling this child is living a princess life. However, we don't know what's going on in their little minds. And her feeling of abandonment and why she's not with her father, why did her mother or father take her, um, why, what's wrong with her, caused her anxiety and depression. Um, Yet all of a sudden these behaviors, you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. I mean, you're traveling the world, you're seeing everything, you're going every place, you're a straight A student, you have all these opportunities, and you have anxiety and depression. And and it was very severe, enough to cripple her and cause her to lose a couple of semesters in college and starting in high school. So you have to be, as a grandparent, prepared as much as possible, at least educate yourself to what are some of the things you can do. And I found even sometimes the therapy that they have is a challenge to find the right one, because I'm going to say this, but a therapist is going to hate me. Sometimes the therapists need therapists.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just that these are unique times and unique situations and unique kids that you can't use old techniques on. They're just
Right.
new.
All right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the autism spectrum is one of them. They're not they're finding out as they go along. They really don't have any real answers
Right.
because people don't understand autism anyway. And some recent study that I heard is that even even ADHD and other acting out is because your child is on a spectrum that you've never known or has never been diagnosed. And so that even when you say anxiety and depression is a level of autism, so they don't know.
I want to share this because it's really important. Uh, and this situation started when Georgie was 2. And the reason why I'm going to bring this up is because I think it was either Facebook or TikTok. There was a parent that was experiencing this this baby that was STEMI, and this particular type of STEMI looks like masturbation. Georgie started at 2, and I used to work with sex offenders, and I'm looking like, why and how is this possible coming from a child so young at 2? And I had to do my homework and my research to find out what has caused this when this baby has never been exposed to such a thing. I don't care where it started. I took videos of it because I was like shocked, like how he know this, what is going on here. And then I talked to the doctor, and you were talking about how some therapists need a therapist as well.
Exactly.
He said that, well, maybe we should sign him up for masturbation. I was so disgusted that this doctor would suggest this for a 2-year-old, where we don't know, we know some of that is natural, okay? But for some reason, I don't know if it's music or diaper or whatever, this child was going to town. And it looks really weird. And I could be in the store, Georgie would drop to the floor and go to town.
Really?
So
I said, really?
Yes. So I had to, so every time I take him to a school, I had to talk to the teachers, and we all in it was a ESP, I can't think right now, but we all sitting around, and we're talking and discussing how we're going to handle that situation when it happens. Then I know some will, well, sometimes it could be shoes, certain kind of shoes that he likes, and how he's associating that. So when I worked with a young man that had a foot fetish, and I had to watch where he goes and what women had on their feet, because he would get excited over it. But it wasn't really sexual. You know what I'm saying? But there was something, some kind of wiring there that would cause, I don't know, it would cause something, how you say not excited, but he is excited. You know what I'm saying? But my baby would, me and my mom would be sitting around. He'll get on that floor, hold his little self, and we looking at what in the world's going on. What is cute about this shoe? Is it the sole? And it wasn't until I had to reach and doing my research and going online and so forth that I came across a nurse. Hey, that I came across a nurse that experienced the same thing. Her child was 8, and she said she started blaming the family, thinking somebody touched him, and go to find out that he wasn't touched. Like same here in my home. This baby's 2. He never been touched. So what is going on? And she said what she had to do was teach him where to do that, and when, go in your room, and that's the appropriate place. But see, Georgie is too young to understand or to get this, the comprehend. No, Georgie, to understand that that's inappropriate. They told me not to overreact to it because I do feel embarrassed behind it. Because I mean, there's men walking past, there's women and children, and that's his way of stemming. Like some people may rock back and forth, some may slap their face, all kinds of different things. He drops to the floor and humps. Where did this come from? And it was
that's it, but that's a part of re-understanding all of this stuff. And you're going to run into a lot, you're saying that you're embarrassed, But a lot of times, you
Stop it.
also run into people who have very short minds themselves and
Yes, that's
always making
what I
it
brought it up.
sexual, like your kid is some kind of dirtbag, in,
Exactly.
in, instead of
Bro,
trying to understand. Um,
yes, Dr. Mitchell. That's why I want to bring that message because parents may be uh, blamed for sexual abuse, not understanding where this is coming from. Uh, this jury is still out as to where this is coming from. But I know from my background training in history, and recognizing that I know no one taught this baby this. And he sure wasn't exposed uh, to anything in my home, you know. But again, this kid, you know, out of nowhere, 2 years old, and then it kept on going. And I don't care, in the store, people walking past. So it's a part of soothing.
it
So
is soothing. It is a soothing
so he
mechanism.
will do that. So I looked out for it. Is it a program? Is it music? Is it a smell? Is what was causing him to do that? So
But it's
what you
not
can do
sexual.
is
You know that it's not
not
sexual.
right. It's not
and
sexual.
and
So
and that's why this podcast is so important for
right.
a tidbit like what you just said,
Mhm.
because parents some
No, you're not listening. No. Uh-huh. I'm sorry.
it's interesting. I tend to agree with you that it's a sense of soothing. It's a
Mhm.
sense of self-soothing. And one of the things that I found through my studies and research is that sometimes children react after they're out after the womb from stuff that's happened to them, for what the stuff the parents have been involved in while they were in the womb.
Yeah. Oh no, that's good. I thought
So,
that.
you have alcohol fetal syndrome, you have all those kind of things. We don't know what that mother was doing. So we could probably go back to something that happened then that's happening now.
Right. And I tend to agree with that because her pregnancy was a lot of trauma that went on. So how all this is connected, only God will know. But yes, she experienced a lot during her pregnancy, and then again, was drugs found in his system. You know, so it's a lot of things that may have caused this. You
So
know,
I'd be inclined to believe that it's something in utero, when the baby was in the uterus, that occurred, that caused some twisting or mix up in this baby's brain, just like the autism,
right,
that there's certain part of his body is stimulated in a way that we don't quite understand, but it is not sexual.
right.
It
And
is self-soothing.
I had to explain to this doctor that that was not, and I let him know, I was offended that he would think that, and to want to give him a pill for it.
Yeah, but
And
they
we're
pill
not
everything in.
going there. Yes. So, I mean, it's just interesting how everything is supposed to be taken care of with a pill instead of taking the time to understand what is going on here, you know,
Absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
goes from school to school to school. You got to worry about the parents getting wind of it or their child experiencing or seeing something where they quite don't understand what this is, because it's not about the kid. You know what I'm saying? George's not thinking about nobody that way, so yeah, it's all about making people aware of it and bringing it back to, I can't remember the young lady that they was attacking her for talking about it. And the first thing they was saying that it's something that she was doing. They assumed that she must have had sex in front of this baby. That's why this baby's doing that. But if you got a little baby, those
You
babies will rock back and forth like they're doing something. And so parents be aware. Not everything is that way. Or children were touched in an inappropriate way. Uh, you gotta have an open mind, especially if you have DHS or police officer or family members that don't quite get it, you know. So I mean, because we know that those things take place, but a lot of times it's not necessarily that.
You're absolutely correct. And you deal with people who have their own sexual issues that
Mm-hmm.
might be a therapist or a doctor or a police officer or a caseworker.
Right.
So they come in with predetermined stuff and accusing you or somebody else.
Yes. And that's the main reason why I wanted this in my records. Uh, because the baby been with no one but me and my husband at the time. And therefore, I need to show when this happened, when we start, who I talked to, and every teacher and school that we've been in, I make sure they had records of it and know about it. And I just matter of fact, they brought in a new teacher, and I asked her, have we seen any of that behavior? And she said yes. So therefore, I'm learning there are other children that has the uh, same STEM kind of way thing, and so there are some schools are aware of it and have experienced it.
But it's, you have to find that. You have to fight for that. You have to continue.
Uh-huh.
But like we said last week, document, document, document. You videotape, document who you talk to, doctors, whatever, because it will protect you or it'll kill you if you don't have it.
Right.
Because the first thing they're going to do is accuse you.
Yes,
The first
exactly.
thing they're going to do is accuse you.
Yes.
And so I applaud you again as a grandmom. This is some of the trauma and the difficult situations that we go through as
Friend,
grandparents.
I should be sitting on a beach somewhere.
How about that? And it's not only for grandparents. We're talking
Right.
about foster and adopted
Right.
parents
Yeah.
as well because they're getting kids that are in trauma, and so there's a lot of these behaviors that our kids go through and that we have to deal with as grandparents and adopted and foster adopted children, that we need to understand it's not us, but we must protect ourselves. And that's why documentation is so, so very important, to make sure that they have to look beyond you because sometimes you're the easiest target.
Right. Exactly. You gotta want to place blame somewhere else other than themselves and not understanding.
Um, a lot of these children have in behavior have things something called hypervigilance, which is a sense of always being alert. I have my adopted child. I believe since she's been with us, she
Uh-huh.
had so much trauma before that she is constantly in fight or flight.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of that? Fight or
Yeah.
flight?
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
human condition that our mind tells us whether we should stand or fight or run away. And being in that 24/7, can you imagine never being out of that, always being afraid something terrible is going to happen or you need to fight everything, fight or flight. And so can you imagine just someone's mind always being there? So it's a challenge, and it causes the other behaviors. It causes defiance. It causes acting out. It causes all of those things. So we're going to talk more, and I think we're going to take a lot of time just to take autism, for example, or to take ADHD and just talk about that for a whole podcast. Um, Another one that we are going to have to deal with, or we do deal with, is negative self-belief, negative images. So many of our babies, because of how they come to us, really develop low self-esteem. You know, hopefully because they feel rejected or abandoned, they have really poor self-esteem. And sometimes that self-esteem causes, especially as a teenager, causes them to act out.
I went
As
through this.
Say
Mhm.
that again.
I said I went through that with my daughter. Yes. low
It
self,
causes
yes.
poor
Uh,
self-esteem. And they're doing things and you're trying to figure out what in the world? This is not what I've taught this child.
right. Yes. Um, if I could touch briefly on that, my baby, beautiful dark skinned baby girl. And because she was around others, I just saw all these years that I built her up, feeling beautiful and unique and so forth, and loving who she is. And it takes her just a little bit, a few others to tell her that she's not. And it just tears her soul apart. And now I remember her crying and boo-hooing and hating herself. And I'm like, all of my work that I've done over the years of building her up, and it was smashed, it was crushed. And then what happens is, then they start looking for love elsewhere. Like yours wasn't good enough.
Yes.
And they look for it else, you know, I don't care, anything, you know.
Anything or anybody.
Yes, yeah, I'm trying to be nice. Yes. Anybody,
It
anybody.
causes them to be
Tell me I'm
promiscuous. Let's
pretty.
be real. Let's be
Yeah,
real. It causes them because they're searching for somebody to love and they
yeah,
think they're supposed to do it with their bodies.
exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
I need to
Oh,
say it real plain so grandmothers know they didn't do anything wrong. This is a sense of self-loathing. They don't like themselves. They don't feel beautiful, and they don't pride themselves in in being special. And they think that the only way somebody shows them love is to have sex.
exactly.
So
Uh,
you
yeah, so this is why how these young ladies get on the internet and show start showing themselves. And young men and nasty old men can actually talk them out of their clothing.
absolutely, and
You
sometimes
know,
it's not hard.
yeah, yeah. Just because you tell me this or that, and you're so trusting. Now I know, you know, a lot of young girls, even when we were young, but it's almost to a degree of, come on, really, you can't be that horrible. But, but when they don't feel good about themselves, that can easily happen. So yes, yeah, I've been there. Parent, again, don't blame yourself. It's like you just gotta have security 24/7. You know,
You
dealing
can't
with.
do that. You can't do that.
No, you can't. I gotta get this off in here. Okay.
There's nothing you can do with that. Beatrice, thank you for joining us. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't
Yes.
see
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if you can see me.
you. But and that's so sad. That's so sad. And it doesn't take much to talk them out of their clothing. That's really what's sad.
Yeah.
And because when you ask them some of the reasons and why, and you said, really, that's all it took, really?
Yeah.
But is there such, yes, they feel such low about themselves that they don't treasure their bodies and their mind. They don't treasure it. And unfortunately,
Yeah. Yeah.
they wind up being whatever they're going to be. And
Yeah.
it takes a lot of
Mean,
work.
this is horrible. I mean, I just
And
remember the young. I don't know. He was an older man because he was much older than her, and I nearly threatened this man's life as if I could go through the telephone and choke a doodle out of him. But yeah, I had to make sure that I wasn't gonna get that call again. But it was just so crazy. It's like, why would you think that would be okay?
yeah,
What is it?
yeah.
Oh,
It,
you know, but
it
again,
defies any kind of
yes, and
sense.
yes,
It defies.
yeah, wow. So yeah, we're saying all of this, grandparents and mommies and daddies out here. You can raise them well, you can keep your eyes on them, but look, it's something that they're searching for that you just simply can't give
Not going
to.
to be able to. And you know, the thing about it is no amount of therapy, no amount of anything, no amount of love that you give them will do it until they start valuing themselves.
Right.
Uh,
It, it, it,
can I,
it-
I have to say, I witnessed something very horrible. The
okay.
It was a couple, about 24, 25.
Speak up a little bit, B.
Yeah, it was a couple that was 24, 25. They have a young son. The young lady is gorgeous, but she doesn't know her worth.
Value. Yes.
Yes, her worth. Because this man punched her all in the face. No men stopped it. They came out, three of them came out the same house that she went into. It was a woman who stopped it. But the girl did not go home. After the guy punched her the first time, it was time for her to get in the car and go home. But she kept arguing till he slammed her on the ground. And it was horrible. And she's a beautiful young lady. But why do you stand and understand that? Because if that was my granddaughter, I'd probably be fighting the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But why are these young women, mothers, standing for this stuff to happen to them? This is what your kids see. You know,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But the beauty, it's self-worth. It, you know,
but
What
just
happened?
go ahead. I have to say, just like today, my granddaughter 7, she
Uh-huh.
came and she was boasting about a fight. She beat up a guy and a girl. This is
Mm-hmm.
what she's boasting about. Oh, she did this. And I said, let me tell you something, sweetie. He might have a dad that said, now my granddaughter did say the boy didn't hit her, he tackled her down to the ground. But he told my granddaughter, she's a tomboy, okay? She jumped on his back. But if somebody tells you that's it, I don't want to be touched, you got to respect that. That's where I let my granddaughter know she was wrong. And instead of looking at it like horrible, I reversed it. What if you didn't want somebody to touch you? Don't give I told her the boy didn't beat you up because maybe his dad told him don't hit girls, tackle them down. And don't give the young guy a reason to beat you up because he can.
Right.
And I let her know he can if he started hitting. They're more stronger than you are. And we had that talk. So, I mean, these young girls think and they think it's cute because they see it. It's not because I'm going to be a fighter. They see the parents fighting. They see the family fighting. We, we can't blame our kids in what they see. Our grandkids. This is what they see.
that's what they say.
So, and just like I was trying to fuss and say, where's the teacher? Why? And her school is so little, ain't that many kids in there. You can't see. But that time, the teacher was on the phone, and I know she's a great teacher. I'm not going to down her. You know, sometimes we have to stop and do something, but they didn't tell the teacher. The school doesn't know. All the kids are keeping it quiet. They know what happened, but they're not telling the school or the teacher. So, I mean, we have to work on better on that and also talk to our kids, but still, what they see, TikTok, TV, is going to be what they want to do. It's fun, it's exciting, and this is what our kids are exposed to.
It
So
is.
you
It
can't
is sad.
blame some of the parents. I don't blame the parents because I still say when your kid turn that corner, the tail grows and the horn comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about that. Yeah.
So, and they see it's not what I don't care all the teaching you do. They see what they see on TikTok and that's what they want to do. Okay, even the kid that the mother says, I take their phone, I don't do, they don't do no turking. You go around the corner, that baby turking all day long, worse than what you think. But when she come back on the block, she probably won't do it. So it's a solution of what, and the government is letting this out. It's still, we should go back where the father sleeps in one bed and the mother sleeps in another bed. Just keep the notness. We know what goes on. Just keep it away from
So
us.
it is a challenge. It is a challenge, ladies, grandmoms. And the solutions, there isn't one solution. There are many solutions. But what we have to do is to be aware. We're not going to be able to solve everything. We're just not going to be able to. Um, I just need grandmoms to understand, number one, it's not their fault. You're doing the best that you can. And there are many, many, you're going to be spending the next several years that you have the children finding different strategies. And that's what okay, this didn't work. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. I applaud you, Renee, for researching, researching about the behavior of your baby because you knew that they'd be coming after you. And
Mhm.
so your research avoided that behavior. Other grandmothers need to know if things continue, you need to protect yourselves by documenting. That's the greatest thing that I can tell you. Ladies, it's 9 o'clock. This was a great topic. And I want all of our topics to be like this. We are going to take pieces of this and talk more because we need to have some more information about it, more strategies, and maybe collectively, there are some changes that we can do. So I want to thank you, Beatrice. I know you were putting your baby to sleep, but thank you for that information that you just put in because you're saying so many of even our beautiful girls
Yes.
don't feel confident about themselves. Our beautiful girls
Yes.
tolerate abuse. Why is that?
Right.
Why are they feeling? And why are our girls so angry at each
Yeah.
other,
Yes.
so mean to each other, so
Mhm.
degrading to
Girls, the guys too.
but
The
together
guys too. So
crazy.
it's both sex. Yes. Yes.
So much hatred.
That's what it is, the dividing. And that's why we say, you got to unite and come together. And that's what we have to bring back if we can. You're not going to get everybody because everybody's not going to be on the same page. But a lot of people want that change. We don't want to go back into the past, but we want to go back with the principles.
Mhm.
We want to go back and give those values, those principles, ladies being ladies, gentlemen being gentlemen. When you see the older lady in the car trying to pick up a package, you're sitting on a step. It doesn't take that much to go in there and help the old lady out. You know, that's
And,
what.
and you know what? Not to cut you off, and for the older women, women our age and younger, um, it's okay to say to a young lady, "Honey, you're beautiful." Or
Yes,
say something to a young man, you know what I'm saying? Be kind and be nice, you know? That's a beautiful smile you have. You know, how's your day? Because they kind of, I find that some of us look at them like they're invisible and unless they working on our nerves or something or being disrespectful. But sometimes you just got to acknowledge them, notice them, and talk to them. And I think it starts with us, you know, just being kind. You know, it's ridiculous how mean we are to each other at all ages.
right. And be kind to all. I mean, by working at, I'm not going to announce the university that I work at, but even seeing the younger girls, the bigger girls, you just tell them, "Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're beautiful." I say it from both races. and
Yeah,
they look at me like me. They
yeah,
really me, and I'm like, yes, you.
yes. I did that the other day to a young lady at the store. And she looked at me like, "What? Yes, baby, you are. Yes, you are. You
Right,
know, and I know I made that baby's girl her day. I know I did.
right,
And we just need to do that. It don't cost nothing to be nice.
right.
Nothing, you know. So yeah. So okay.
Well, ladies, we're starting a movement here. We're starting a movement because,
Yeah.
I saw an advertisement said here just recently that if the world was going to be saved, it was going to be done by a woman. And the United States is moving towards that.
Right.
And this is just, I'm not trying, I just want to make sure everybody is registered to vote because this is one of the critical elections. So, yay, women.
Yes.
I definitely feel that things are going to be a little different.
Right.
She's got an uphill battle. She
Yeah.
really has an uphill
She
battle.
does. She
But if
does.
we can support each other, there may be some opportunity for change, really big changes in the United States. So again, we can stay on here for the rest of the next night, couple of nights talking. I'm
Yes.
going to say good night. Thank you
Yes.
to my guest, Renee Zachary. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Beatrice. Whenever you come on, you just bring wealth. So I'm just so thankful for you and for your wisdom that you have. You tell me often how crazy they make you, but
Right.
you've developed so much wisdom as a result of it. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You everybody have a good night. We'll see
All
you
right.
next Thursday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Fostering Lives, Grandmom's Room.
All right.
Okay.